you everyone for participating in my Would You Rather game. And cool, let's get started. Before I hand this over to Ashley, just a few kind of housekeeping things. Hey everyone, I'm Morgan. I use they, them pronouns, and I'm the marketing associate here with Attune. Welcome to our Attune webinar series. We've been doing a bunch of different ones, but this is kind of our first one focusing on a specific BOP industry. So thanks so much to Ashley for joining us today. As you've probably noticed, this is a webinar, so you don't have, you won't be able to be seen or heard by anyone, but if you have any questions or concerns or any tech issues, feel free to just throw those questions in the chat on the bottom of your screen or in the Q&A function, and we'll get to you as soon as possible. This is currently being recorded, and the recording and the slides will be sent out either later today or earlier tomorrow. And if you have anyone in your agency or any other pals that wanted to go to this webinar and couldn't, you can easily just forward it to them, and it'll be available from Attune in general, so they can just reach out to us. Yeah, without further ado, I'll hand this over to Ashley.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here and to do this webinar. Morgan, you're going to be sharing the slides.
Yep.
I just want to tell you about myself. My name is Ashley Cadet. I am an account manager here at Attune. I've been with Attune for almost a year right now, and I have a background in insurance. I've worked for a few different companies like Zywave and a brokerage firm, Lennox Advisors. So I'm very well aware of a lot of insurance things. Some other things about me, to be an account manager here, we get a few agencies and we're like their concierge person to talk to all the day, every day, the main client advocate and contact. In order to get a account manager, your agency just has to produce a certain amount, and then you get assigned one. So a fun fact about me, I have over 50 plants in my apartment. It may not seem like it because Morgan's a very hard contender there, but they're all spread out. And my favorite food is Thai food. Thai food in the US is pretty much the same everywhere. I love it. And it's a little bit different in Thailand, I've learned, but I still love Thai food. So today we're going to go over some of the agenda really quickly. So we're going to do a brief overview of the Attune products, some of our offerings and technology. We'll do an appetite overview, like eligibility highlights, account parameters, rating highlights, coverage overview. We'll talk about some eligibility classes and ineligible classes, and then we'll do a portal demo. And then we'll do a Q&A. So you could always put your questions in the chat function. All right. So some of Attune's features and products. So the great thing about Attune is that it was built for brokers from day one. So you can get direct access without production requirements. We have competitive commissions, instant decisions within 5 minutes, quote to bind. We have paperless underwriting, direct online billing and auto pay, and live customer support. So we have our customer support team. And then of course we have account managers like me that if you do need to pick up the phone and talk to somebody, I'll pick up and talk to you. So like I was saying before, in October 2021, we joined forces with Coalition. So it is first-in-class customer experience, new, better, and tailored products to emerging risks, new technology and data to insurance to transform the insurance experience and risk management. We have combined to make the world's largest commercial insurtech provider with over 130,000 policyholders. We're hoping to get that even bigger. Okay, so some of the products that we do have right now, we have business owners policies through Blackboard Insurance. It is admitted, it is standard ISO forms, unique wind and hail capabilities, over 370 classes available in 45 states and full binding authority. Now we're trying to move away from Blackboard to accredited, but I will talk a little bit more about that in the next slide. Another product that we have is workers' comp. We write workers' comp through employers. And of course, that is admitted, monoline and BOP bundle available. That also have competitive commissions, over 500 classes available in 46 states, full binding authority and online audit. And we also offer excess liability. So we just changed this over to core specialty. It is also it's admitted, revenue exposure up to $15 million with $5 million for contractors, no separate application, scheduled underlying policies over 600 classes, and full binding authority. So that's great news. Some of our other products include, like I was mentioning before, we have our Business Owner Policy Plus, and that is through accredited. We hope to transfer all of our Blackboard policies over to accredited. They are also standard ISO forms, unique hail and wind capability, over 500 classes, expanding to 48 states, full binding authorities. So most of the states that we have in our book are under accredited right now. We hope to have that all transferred over soon. We also write general liability and professional liability through Hiscox. They're both admitted. They're both monolines, both standard ISO forms. General liabilities, no deductible, blanket AI at no cost, available in 49 states, full binding authority, and up to 25K BPP. For professional liability, the deductible is 0 to 10K, full binding authority, up to 25K BPP, automatic renewal, and automatic blanket AI. So another partnership that we just created last fall is with Neptune Flood. So Neptune Flood makes it easy to buy commercial flood insurance. It is simple, just enter the property's address and bind within 2 minutes. No elevation certificate or photos or trailing documents are needed. So we have building coverages up to $4 million, content coverages up to $500,000, additional coverages, business interruption up to $25,000. Of course, no elevation certificate required, and the waiting period on real estate closing otherwise 10 days. So 10 days is really great. Things to know: the SBA now accepts private flood insurance to satisfy their flood insurance requirements. Options to buy content coverage only, or also protect the building by adding the owner as an additional insured. Available in every state except Alaska and Kentucky. They write in all zones and non-residential risks. So that is something that you can also quote on our website, which you will see a little bit later. So we're gonna talk about the BOP Professional Services overview. Okay, so we're looking for Main Street operations. Think privately owned white collar businesses that are just an office exposure. New ventures are okay. Locations can be up to 50,000 square feet. Removal of employee count limits for the core BOP. Account parameters, it's $4.7 million per location, depending on the state. Florida's different. 9.5 million per account, and no more than 3 claims in the last 5 years, and no more than 20,000 total incurred. CAT claims not counted. Very important. So rating highlights: professional service classes are rated by limit of insurance. It should be valued at 100% replacement cost. Okay, so that's very key. Coverage highlights: business income from dependent properties, 10,000. 4-hour 4-hour time deductible for a business income, and electronic data, 25,000. of course, this is all written in our guidelines if you want to dig deeper. So accountant services, or LROs in Texas. Wait, I think this is your slide. You're going to talk about this? Go ahead.
Okay, so before we get into some claim examples, I'm just gonna kind of touch on some questions that have been asked here in the chat. Carla asked about the Blackboard to accredited transfer, and Carla asked, so all policies with Blackboard will eventually be transferred to accredited insurance. That's correct, with obviously there are some exceptions to that, but yeah, for any eligible policies at renewal, those policies will, if they're able to be renewed through accredited, they will be transferred over. And if they are in certain states that have been approved by their state's Department of Insurance, we've registered, accredited with all 50 states, but some states haven't gone through the process of getting accredited approved yet. So those states will not have that transfer yet, but that is in the future something that we're hoping to have accomplished, in the next couple of years or so, that eventually everything will be transferred over to accredited. As with any change that happens at Attune specifically, but hopefully with all insurance companies, we will of course notify you of any renewal changes that are happening. It's not just going to happen one day and you're like, who is this? We're going to be emailing you. The insured will be getting documentation based on the state specific legislation that happens. So the short answer is yes. Let's see here. Colleen, it looks like you're not sure if you have access to Attune. If you got these emails, you most likely at one point did have a login to Attune. If you didn't know, well, welcome. We're so glad you're here. I'm more than happy to I'll grab your email at the end of this webinar. I have everyone's email that's registered, so I'll find you, and I'm happy to connect you with our account management team, and they can help you get started. Let's see here. So Brenda asked, what is the limit for Florida? Yeah, you're welcome, Colleen.
It's 2 million.
2 million, thank you.
Yes.
What is a CAT claim? Do you want to answer that, Ashley?
Catastrophic claim. So I would probably have to give you a more watered down answer for that, but I could always just send you that information via email after this webinar and get back to you.
Yeah, and Ashley will show you our portal when she does a demo as well, but she's going to show you if you have any questions, there's a really easy way to ask them, which is through our live chat function with our customer care team. I used to be a broker success associate, and so I was that person that was answering the phones and answering questions when people were chatting in. You're almost immediately connected with a customer care representative, so it'll be really easy to get an answer. You can even ask them right now. They might be able to answer your question right away. Mm-hmm. Daron asked, or Darren, I'm sorry if I've mispronounced your name. So Attune is Billboard Insurance Company. I'm assuming you mean Blackboard. Attune is an MGA, so we aren't an insurance company. We work with different companies that have their own paper. So Blackboard is one of the companies that we write with. And then Carla asked another follow-up question. At the time of transferring, where there'll be any premium impact, or will the insured experience any problems? That is on a case-by-case basis. If you have any specific questions, I would recommend just reading whatever information that we send to you via email. And if you have any questions after that, of course, you're more than welcome to reach out to your account manager or the customer care team. Obviously, like any renewal, there could be some decrease or increase in cost, etc. Lynn, yep, this will be recorded, and the slides will be sent out either later today after this webinar or tomorrow. Sunny asked, to write Attune Flood policy, do we have to be certified with any organization? I don't quite know what you mean by that, but if you have access to Attune, you have access to Neptune Flood. So you don't need to do a separate kind of registration, if that's what you mean with Neptune Flood. You'll have direct access through Attune. And then Deborah asked, are commissions for policies we place through you to Hiscox or Flood payable to our agency? So I think a great thing about Attune is you know, we do direct billing. It's paperless. So you'll be getting bills directly from those companies through Hiscox or Neptune, and then it's for our BOP. It's through us. So the insured is technically supposed to be paying that, but if you have an arrangement with the insured where you have their information to make payments on their behalf. Ashley, it looks like maybe you wanted to say something about that.
Oh no.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if you were like waving at me.
No, don't worry about me. Thing.
And then Deborah, to answer your other question. So do we get paid commission? So once they placed a policy with Hiscox and we didn't get commission, I would say if you have any commission questions, definitely just chat with the person who's in charge of commissions at your agency. And if you have any further questions after that, then you can of course give us a call.
Yes, we should probably get back to the presentation.
Yeah, let's do it. I will also share, again, any question that you have, you can easily chat into our customer care team and they can help you out. All right, so let's see. So Ashley, you can see my screen still, correct?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Let's see if I just do that, if it'll go back to the bigger screen. I don't know why it didn't do that. Anyway, okay, so to get back to our professional services overview here. So these are just, it's legally speaking, it's hard for insurance companies to say, we absolutely can cover XYZ. So I thought it would be useful just to kind of give some claims examples for everyone so you can see how our coverages respond in certain scenarios. Obviously, this isn't an indication or confirmation of coverage, and any claims that your clients have would have to be reviewed at the time of reporting, but these are just some examples. So this was an accountant services LRO in Texas. The claim that they filed was for water damage and freezing. And then the adjuster said that the insured reported that the sprinklers burst and caused flooding. And if someone doesn't handle this flooding soon, the whole facility will freeze over. And they were paid 100%. So that ended up being $279,431 to cover that flooding in their facility. Then there was a burglary in the lawyer's office in New York, which was kind of, not that these claims are funny, but kind of interesting. Apparently the insured's air conditioner was ripped out from the building and robbers went in through the hole that was left by the air conditioner and stole stuff from their store, from their office. And the total amount that was paid out was $8,428. Mm-hmm. Then a vet's office in Michigan. The claim here is a bit different than I think we usually see, but I wanted to highlight it because I think it's important that, it's not just about kind of physical damages, but it can also include, liability, like legal liability. So this was a wrongful termination claim. And apparently there was an alleged whistleblower retaliation claim due to a dispute between the insured and the plaintiff. And the total paid out for like lawyers' fees and stuff was $89,846. And then I thought that this claim was honestly just funny. But there was a bookkeeping services in New Jersey. They had a property claim and a raccoon entered their business and caused a lot of damages to various items in the office during its stay there and then the ensuing capture. And the total paid out was $1,422.
Those raccoons.
I know, raccoons just are crazy around here.
Quite.
All right, so doesn't look like we have any questions on these claims examples. Again, if you have any specific questions about specific policies, just chat into our Attune customer care team and they can for sure help you out. All right, and I'm going to throw it back to Ashley.
Okay, so let's go over some eligibilities. So for BOP professional service eligibility classes, we're looking for like software developers, engineers and architects, medical offices, manufacturer reps, permanent staffing agencies, data processing, lawyers, and claims adjusters. So those are some examples of things that we're looking for. Some ineligible classes are places or operations of worship. Very sorry about that. So no churches. We don't do human resources or daycares or crisis centers of any kinds or property management services. Hopefully we'll be able to expand in the future, but as of right now, these are the classes that we are not currently writing. So now we're going to do a portal demo. Let me share my screen. Let's do that one. Just get out of these things. And share here. So, can everyone see my screen? Yes. So this is the Attune Portal. If you have never been here before, this is welcome. It is very, very easy to use. You'll see a lot of tabs here on the left side. It will show your activities, show the accounts, invoices, support, just like Morgan was talking about, just the chat function right here. You could always start a chat with our team. The reward center and settings. So this is our staging platform. So there is no confidential information here. It's just our staging platform, not the regular one. I'll go through those very quickly. So the activities, it will show what you and your team are currently writing, what you quoted, what are bound, and upcoming renewals. The account here is the main page that you come up to when you log onto our system. You'll see all the different products that we have here on the on the right side. Invoices, of course, it's very self-explanatory. It will show you all the different invoices, whether they are upcoming, whether they're due or past due. The support tab, you could submit a ticket here for any questions that you may have. You can download our guidelines right here on the right. It'll give you some helpful links for billing or claims or any other downloads. The reward center, by you just quoting with us, you gain Attune coins. And these coins, they build up for you to redeem for gift cards to like Amazon, Starbucks, Walmart, whatever you want. So you probably have a decent amount of points in the system that you haven't already used. So always check those out. The settings tab, if you have an office administrator that has access to our platform, they can add and remove team members to the platform. They could get them a login. You could also update the commission information, where it's supposed to go, and the financial info right then and there. We try to make this website super easy for you to use, so you don't have to come and talk to us. Of course, we love talking to you, but everything is here right there at your fingertips. So we're going to start a new quote. So we're going to say a new client. So since this is professional services, I'm going to say Ashley's accountants or Ashley's taxes. Okay. If I have a DBA or operating name, I could also put that here. As a mailing address, I'm going to pick a place, Central Street, Leominster, Massachusetts. I am originally from Massachusetts, so I picked an address that I know in Massachusetts. I can put an optional detailed description here if I would like. Then I can choose a description for the business. So they do taxes, but they are also accountants. So I'm going to put accountant. So they are accountants, public certified, office, CPAs. I will put that here. Now, just from that, our system will tell us yay or nay within 5 minutes, 5 seconds. So we don't have a apartment property GL, so we could disregard that. Since this is Massachusetts, we have BOP Plus, which is the accredited product there. We also can write a GL, a PL. We could do a workers' comp. Since we no longer do We are going to also launch cyber insurance, hopefully sometime in Q2. So you'll be able to get a quote with that too. And we also have a partnership with Liberty, but this class is not available under Liberty. So we're going to get a quote for our credited product. The next step gives us the guidelines. We encourage you to read through the guidelines just to make sure that everything is up and at 'em. It tells us applicants who've had more than 3 claims in the past 5 years are ineligible. Applicants that had a single claim exceeding 20,000 in the past 5 years is ineligible. Businesses, if a business has multiple operations or locations, all operating and locations must be eligible and scheduled on the policy. We do not write partial operations. Applications with more than 20 million in annual sales per account or over 10 million per location is ineligible. Then I click and say, I read these guidelines and everything's good. And then I go to the next step. So then I pick the effective date. I could pick today or I could pick a future date. So I'm going to say it's going to be maybe, I'll put this for next week. I'll put 4/7. And then I could put the organization type. We have a bunch of different organizations that we could put. I'm going to put this as an LLC. I'm going to say that it's been in business for 3 years. Morgan, I see some people that have questions or raise their hands.
Yeah, I've been answering questions in the chat, and just so you all know, you won't have the ability to speak or be seen. So if you have any questions, please just put them in the chat or the Q&A function, and I'll answer them that way.
Thanks a bunch. We do allow new ventures, but I'm going to put this as a business that's been around for 3 years, and I can add a different location if I had an additional location, but we're just saying 1 location here. And I'm going to click next. So it pulls up the location. We are partnered with Google, so it will tell us exactly where this is located. Now, another thing that we have in our system is the crime score. Sometimes you'll see that the location may not be eligible because of the crime score. Since this is a good location, it's still going through our system. So I'm going to say how many full-time employees. I'm going to say it's 2 employees and 2 part-time employees. All other payrolls. So there's a great thing in our system. If you have any questions about what things means, you can also just hover over the question mark and it'll give a description about what these things mean. So all other payrolls, it goes up to $10,000. I'm just going to keep it at $1,000 and then go to the next step. So then we have the building information. Is this building a lesser's risk only? I'm going to say no. Category of the building, it's an office. We have other descriptions here. The business classification is accounting services. The building limit or the building personal property limit. I'm just going to say the building personal property limit. I'm going to say 200,000. Well, I'll just say 20,000. Yeah, 20,000. We'll say the building type. We have a few different kinds. I'm going to say that this is joint masonry. Number of stories in the building. This is 3 square foot occupied by the insured, only 1,000. The year built, I'm going to say it was built in 1999. Has the roof been updated in the last 20 years? We need to make sure that the roof has been updated in the last 20 years. So yes. Does this building have an automatic sprinkler system? I'm going to say yes. And we're going to go to next. So then we have the utility services and time element. So of course here it responds to lost business income of water supply, property, main water break removal, all that other stuff. And then utility services, direct damages, response to direct damage of water supply and to describe to the premises. So I could go bring that up to $50,000 if I want, or I could keep it at 0. This one goes up to $100,000 if I want to. I'm going to keep them both at 0. Then we have the BI and EE period of indemnity. I'm going to keep it at 12 months, but we go up to 24 months. We also have a wind deductible. So it talks about here that for accredited BOP, wind coverage is required for Massachusetts, New York, and Florida. So I'm going to put that, I'll put that at 5% since this is Massachusetts. I can also include equipment breakdown coverage. I'm going to say yes. And then I could have additional debris removal as up to 100,000. So I'm just going to keep that at 25,000. And I'm going to click next. We have some other liability coverages. So we have the per occurrence up to $2 million. It automatically goes to $1 million. So I'm going to keep that at $1 million. We have medical expenses up to $10,000. So I'm going to keep that at 5. Damages to the premises rented to you, that goes all the way up to $1 million, but I will bring it down to just 250,000. Do I want to include employee benefits liability coverage? I'm going to say no. Does the insured have a written handbook? I'm going to say yes. Is our janitorial services contracted by a third party? No. Does include hired non-owned auto coverage? I'm going to say no. Some additional coverages, we have the employee dishonesty. So it's already 10,000 is provided in the enhancement, but it goes up to 100,000. I'm going to keep it at 10,000. I could include employee related practices liability coverage. I'm going to say no. Include certified acts of terror coverage. I'm going to say no. Include cyber coverage. I'm going to say yes. Cyber is one of the things that we have been seeing a lot nowadays. Any small business could get a cyber attack. So I always encourage to do cyber coverage. We have the aggregate limit up to 250,000, but I will keep it at 50,000. I can add an additional insured if I want to, but I'm going to say no. Would I like to add a waiver of subrogation? I'm going to say no. So I clicked through, very quick and simple, and then I submit. So this is a game here that I was telling about where you can get some Attune points and coins while you're waiting for the quote to log. And like I said, you can keep building points in order to get the gift card. Every 10 points equals $1. So save your points and then cash them out. I talked to a broker last year and she said that she didn't even realize she had points and then cashed them out for back to school supplies for her kids, which is a great thing because it's just sitting there.
Ashley, while we're waiting, there are just a couple questions
Sure.
about the quoting process. So
Yes.
Guy asked, is there a way to check the address ahead of time to make sure that the business will qualify? And I believe what you did at the very beginning where you check on a new client, when you enter in that address, I believe that it should tell you fairly quickly on whether or not it'll be eligible based on location.
Yes. Our system is very smart. It will tell you yay or nay within 5 minutes of putting that address in. You don't even have to go through the full quote. If the address is not eligible, it will decline the quote right then and there. As you can so see, this quote came out. It came out to be $975.52, which is great. It tells me all the different riders that I added to the quote here. I can download this quote and send it to my client for them to review after the fact. I can go back and edit the quote if I want to, but as you can so see, this is a very competitive quote for an accounting firm with 4 employees.
And sorry, there's just one more question. There's a couple more questions. Carla's asking about rewards. Carla, we're not going to really touch on that today, but if you just look on the left-hand side of Ashley's screen, there's a rewards tab and you can click right there and that'll take you to your points information on how to cash them in. And Laura was asking, is there a way to do a blanket AI? So it depends on the type of business you're writing. Ashley, I don't know if you want to give some more information about that.
No, I'm not quite sure that one per se.
Yeah, usually it depends on what type of business you're writing for professional services. I don't believe that there's usually like a classic blanket AI that we offer through the Attune Bot Plus. For contractors, we have a blanket AI option, but for professional services, generally speaking, you would have to do it individually by additional insured type. Again, this is another great question that you can chat into our customer care team. They have access to all the quotes and stuff, so it's super easy to ask.
Right.
Yeah.
You can press on the support tab, you could type in your questions, and you can start a conversation with our care team. Let me try to bind this really quickly, and then we can continue answering some questions. So just like I just did the quote in 5 minutes, you can bind in 5 minutes. So you continue to bind. So this is going to be the effective date. I can put the insured email here. So I'm going to put my email there. And I could put the number there, and I'm going to say let's see, 800 8675309. There we go. Then you could put the broker contact. So some of you guys may be wholesalers and you work with other agencies. You could put your information here, and then you could put the additional broker's information also here. So you guys can receive information about the invoices, the renewals, and the cancellations. But I'm going to click next. So we have a few different payment plans. You can do a one-time payment, 4 payments, or a 10 pay. So if you do a one-time payment, you get that one-time technology fee. 4 payments, you're gonna get the technology fee, but also the installment fee every single time. And then 10 pay is also going to make you do the installment fee every single time, but just keep that in mind. So I'm going to do 1 pay, and then there's a 3.2% processing fee for card transactions. I confirm this information here of the primary insured. I put the secondary insured if I have any other additional people, and then I'm going to bind it. So then I bind it. Our system just takes a little bit of time, shaking hands, and then success. Hooray. We bound a policy. And that's how quickly it goes. So the email goes to the insured, and then they put in their payment information into our system, which is very simple and easy. And then they have to pay for the policy. They have up to, I believe, 10 days to pay for the policy. Correct me if I'm wrong. Morgan?
To pay for their policy, yes, I believe it's 10 days, but I would definitely double check that. It will tell you on the invoice what the due date is.
Yes. If it's not paid in within the time frame, we will cancel the policy. And then, of course, if there's a problem, if there was a mistake or check got lost in the mail, reach out to us. We will try to reinstate the policy, of course, with a no known loss letter. So that's very important. You can always view the schedule of invoices. You can view the receipts. We will also give you an email when it has been paid. So just keep that in mind. Alrighty. Okay, so.
And sorry, we have some questions about the technology fee, what that is.
The technology fee. Do you have any answer about the technology fee?
Yeah, so the technology fee is basically just a processing fee to just take into account the technology that it takes to run our website and our AI and stuff.
I see one that says, are the invoices emailed only? We are a paperless company. Everything is electronic, so it's going to be emailed.
And we have a couple questions on the payment methods. Yep, you can pay. You can pay by check and by bank account to waive the percentage fee for the credit cards. And oh, sorry, go ahead.
I see one. How do we print the policy? You can download the policy right there on our system. Let me just share the screen again. It will show you exactly right here, if you can see my screen, it says the business owner policy. You can download it right there, and then it will show you the policy with all the pages that you can print out and give to your client. It's 143 pages, but it's there for you. As soon as you bind it, it is available for you to download on our system. Let's see some other questions. Hold on, let me stop sharing here. Let's see. We say, I understand. All billing, the billing is to the customer because you put their information there. So we will send that information to the customer. Now, if you don't want the customer to get the bill, you can always put your information there to get the invoices. Of course, you will get the invoices, but I know some agencies, they will try to do the billing themselves. We just want to make sure that the customer has information about that. So, you know, I feel like all carriers, they put like a minor fee on every product that they allow consumers to have. And of course, the ease of having paperless billing, there's always going to be some kind of technology fee. So that is our small little stipulation that we add to our invoices. Let's see. Let's see. So
I can just provide some further information on the technology fee.
go ahead.
That looks like we're getting more questions on it. So it's a 4% technology fee and it's capped at $250. So if you have a really high, a really, big policy, they're not going to be paying more than $250. And then it just covers costs related to the provision of technology resources to distribute and service our policies. And the fee will appear on all of our quote letters and initial invoice, and it'll be viewable as a tech fee in those invoices. So we're not trying to like slip anything past anyone. It's very upfront. It'll be fully earned at policy inception, and it won't be refunded in terms of cancellation. And again, it was just that 4% percentage and will not be more than $250. Let's see. Yeah, it's an administration fee, and Kevin said, I wish the fee is included in the proposal. It is. It's on that quote letter, and when you look at the payment options on the very last page, I believe, of the quote letter, it'll say technology fee is there as well. Let's see.
I believe the renewals, we give them, it's like 45 days in advance before.
It depends on the state.
It depends on the state, that too. Like I said, we are slowly moving over the Blackboard policies to accredited state by state. Right now, I believe we have like 25 states that are unaccredited. You will get ample notice when we are moving it over to accredited. So it's not going to come like just in the middle of the night. So you will be very well aware. And I believe that you should be okay, hopefully.
Let's see. So we've got about 10 more minutes. I'm going to just go to some questions that are more specific to BOP and the professional services. If you have any questions that are not like directly related to that, again, please chat in with our customer care team. I can promise you as a former customer care team member that people they have a lot of answers. And if they don't know the answer, they will find it as quickly as possible for you. So feel free to use that chat function. Looks like Guy just asked, do you write commercial, auto, and truck? That is a perfect example of something that you can chat into our customer care team and they can answer it almost immediately for you. Any eligibility questions or really specific policy specific or account specific questions, they can easily answer.
But I will let you know, do not write commercial auto and truck. Yes, no, we don't.
Actually.
Yes.
It looks like Kimberly asked you, any of your professional services include the E&O on the BOP?
I am not sure. Let me see really quickly. I'm sorry. That's a very good question, Kimberly. I'll have to get back to you on that.
All right. Yep, we are direct bill, Colleen. And let's see, Mark asked, does the BOP policy have a co-insurance clause? And if so, what is the percentage?
That is another good question that I will have to get back to you on too. That's like more of an underwriter question.
Let's see here.
Servicing an account works. So servicing account, if you are the broker on file, you will have access to the account. If there's any problems or stipulations, the underwriter or our team members will email directly to you. Now, if your agency has an account manager, the account manager will be the one to contact you and ask you some questions more about the account if it gets that far. I briefly mentioned at the beginning that not every agency has an account manager. It always goes depending on the production of your agency. We love all our agencies here, but some agencies just need a little bit more love. So that's how they get an account manager. But of course, our care team, they are awesome. They will answer all your questions and they will help you if you have any problems with your quotes. Yes.
And I'm just going to put a YouTube video link in the chat here for anyone who might want just a little bit more of an overview on how Attune and servicing works. So you can, let's see, it's 5 minutes and 14 seconds. So I hope that that's short enough for you, but you can watch that.
Let's see, how far in advance can we get a quote? You can get a quote as far in advance as you like, but quotes only last for 30 days. So if you don't bind that quote within 30 days, the quote is no longer valid. And then of course, you know that the quote premium may change after that 30 days. So you'd be like, oh, this number was this 30 days ago. Why can't we get that same number? It's no longer valid within that 30 days. Do you provide certificates of insurance? Do we provide certificates of insurance?
For the Attune BOP products, we personally don't provide the certificate of insurance, but you as the broker can create it, and we're more than happy to get you any information that you need for that. But I believe our GL, PL, workers comp, Neptune Flood, they all provide certificate of insurance. And Sunny asked, is the fire damage covered in BOP? We can't, guarantee that something is covered in any specific instance, but generally speaking, a business owner's policy, depending on what is, I don't know what fire damage would be there, but generally speaking, it's a, property and general liability. So yes, generally speaking, that would cover certain types of fire damage.
Can we bill our Hiscox policies to Attune? Yes, you can. Yes, we can. We'd need to get an accord, and we would be able to start that process for a BOR. Let's see. If we quote renewals 45 days out, would that 30 days on a quote still apply? Yes. The quote is only good in our system for 30 days. And then you would have to quote again. So hopefully, they are more than willing to bind the policy within that 30 days, hopefully.
Looks like people are asking how you submit requests. So you do that through the Attune Help Center. You just click on the left-hand side, it should say support. And then you can easily submit whatever your request is, whether that's for BOR or endorsement, or you just have a billing question. You can do it that way, or you can chat in.
I will put a link here, and you can wait. Hold on. Is this sorry?
You can. All right. So I'm gonna let's see. Sunny said so. BOP doesn't cover, and the client has to have the GL policy to cover fire, right? If they have a BOP, they probably will have GL as a part of the BOP. BOP is a general and property liability.
Of course, you can always read the definition of coverage in the policies, and it'll give you more information on what is covered. But of course, since we don't have a policy on hand, we can't really define what is and what's not covered.
And if you have any specific questions on any specific policies, again, reach out to your account manager or customer care team. Again, we're not underwriters, so we can't guarantee coverage in any situation, but we're more than happy to kind of point you in the right direction where coverages are outlined. We trust you. You're the brokers. You're the experts. We know that you know what's right for your client. So Sunny, I would recommend just taking a look at that policy document, and even if it's just, if you're on your computer, if you do like Command F, or I don't know what the Microsoft version of Command F is, but you can easily just search the word. This is what I would do when I was in the customer care team. I would just do Command F and search for fire in the policy document, and it'll immediately bring you up every single time that fire is mentioned in the policy, and you can read through it.
Okay.
Cliff had a funny example. Cliff, I would not be surprised if something like that has happened.
Yes. Yes. Okay. Well, like I said, please contact our team, contact your account managers if you have account managers. Ask all the questions. Please quote and bind on our system. We're constantly making upgrades and changes, and we hope that you learned a lot during this webinar. We appreciate your business, and thank you. Thank you so much. You have anything else to add?
No, thank you so much. There will be a very brief survey that will pop up once you leave this webinar. So if you have like literally 30 to 60 seconds, if you could just answer some of those questions. Thank you so much for joining. I'll be sending out a copy of this recording and the slides either later today or tomorrow. You'll get them. Yeah, thank you so much.
Goodbye, everybody.